Welcome my colleagues and my dear students, and today I am speaking about a very important topic in physiology and biology, which is called homeostasis. Homeostasis is the ability of our body or our internal environment to keep its values normal despite continuous challenge, whether internal or external. These values like the body water, the body ions, the body temperature, the blood glucose, the blood pH, and the arterial blood pressure, and many other variables. A person may live for decades and he does not complain of any abnormalities because of strong homeostatic mechanisms that maintain the internal environment by a process of self-regulation. These values may change, but the change is very narrow. Only a narrow or limited change that is needed in order to provoke the mechanisms that maintains our internal environment. Actually, studying the process of homeostasis needs to study everything in physiology and biology. It is so extensive to study all these functions. However, today we give only a general idea. The methods of regulations of body functions in general depend on two main mechanisms. The first is the nervous mechanism, which is done by our nervous system, whether through voluntary actions or through reflexes, which are inherited responses. The response that is done by the nervous system is characterized by being so rapid, so it can enable the person or the internal environment to deal rapidly with variables. In many conditions, we have important role for the endocrine system, which is helpful, which is cooperative to the function of the nervous system. Its action, despite being slow, yet it is so essential in biology, and we will study them in detail in the topic of endocrinology. We have two main types of feedback. First, the negative feedback. Second, the positive feedback. These two types are common in biology. They are the mechanisms of self-regulation, especially negative feedback. Negative feedback is the commonest mechanism for self-regulation of the internal bodily environment. What is meant by negative feedback? This term negative feedback is usually used when the response of the mechanism inhibits the stimulus which provoked this change. So that we have too many examples for negative feedback. However, if the response increases the stimulus, the process is called positive feedback. Although positive feedback is rare in biology, yet it is crucial in many conditions. Let us take examples for negative feedback and the positive feedback. For example, when your carbon dioxide increases above its normal levels in blood. The normal level of carbon dioxide tension in blood is about 40 millimeter mercury. If it is increased, it causes stimulation of certain types of receptors inside the respiratory center. This causes hyperventilation, so there is increased rate of breathing. This increased rate of breathing causes washout or removal of carbon dioxide from the body, so its level decreases to normal, not decrease below normal, decreases to its normal value. So that when the carbon dioxide is increased, this stimulates certain types of receptors called chemoreceptors. When stimulated, they cause hyperventilation, increase the rapidity and the depth of respiration, causing CO2 wash. This causes CO2 level to decrease to its normal value. Another example regarding the blood glucose. If there is increased blood glucose, this causes increase in the insulin level. The increased insulin level cause entry of glucose to the inside of the cells and promotes its utilization. This causes decrease of the glucose level in blood to its normal value, so that the response that is provoked by the stimulus causes decrease of the stimulus, so this is called negative feedback. As I said, the examples of positive feedback are limited in biology, yet the principle of positive feedback is important. Positive feedback occurs when the response stimulates or increases the stimulus. For example, in heart failure, if there is a failing heart, so that the force of pumping is decreased, this decreases cardiac output, the volume of blood that is pumped by our ventricle. This causes decrease of arterial blood pressure. The decrease of the arterial blood pressure causes decrease of the coronary blood flow. This causes weakening of the cardiac muscle, so the process of heart failure is increased. That causes marked decrease in the cardiac output and the marked decrease in the blood pressure and the marked decrease in the coronary blood flow, so the process of heart failure is increased and the process occurs so on until maybe death of the heart. This miserable condition occurs in the late stage of heart failure. Also, positive feedback can occur in the ovary during the process of ovulation. Finally, we reached the end of this simple lecture. See you again and goodbye.